where do we go from here is the question. We're in for at least 4 years of a lot of trouble. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. But that doesn't mean that we can't make effective changes, again, like I was saying before, for ourselves, for our families, for our friends, for our local communities, and for the causes that we care about, right? So the first thing I want to do is talk a little bit about a concept called mutual aid. How many of you are familiar with the concept? Because I truly believe that the first thing we need to do is either start supporting ourselves or continue to support ourselves as best we can. A mutual aid. I've got a video here that I want to show you. It's actually pretty great. This was made in 2019, so during Trump's first term, but I think it's still applicable, particularly now. So we're going to watch that. We're going to talk a little bit about what mutual aid is and some stuff that you can do. So let's give that a look. So I hope that was a good overview as to what mutual aid is and what it can look like. Let me go ahead and pop this into chat if you're interested in watching this again later or taking a look at some of the related videos that it comes up with. So mutual aid is sort of all of those things, right? It's a way of taking what skills and resources that you have and using them to benefit the people immediately around you, not just your family and friends, but your local community as well. So let me, if you don't mind indulging me for a moment, take a look at some mutual aid hubs. Now, unfortunately, this is very U.S. focused as far as I know, but there are, if you are in the U.S., there is hopefully a community near you or places that you can go to start learning more in your local area. So I'm going to go ahead and post this in chat as well. So this is mutualaidhub.org. You notice there's a couple different things here. There's food resources and there's networks. So for example, I live in Western New York. So if I take a zoom in, over here in Buffalo, there's an organization called Push Buffalo. I can click on it, and in this case, it was for the coronavirus thing, but it gives me, their website. And in this case, Push Buffalo is about sustainable housing and trying to get, low-income people into homes, right? If I were to look at, say, New York City, where I'm originally from, as you know, we could see a whole bunch of food resources here, mutual aid organizations. And if you're unfortunate and you don't have any near you, say, for example, you're in Nebraska or, the outskirts of Texas, or New Mexico, well, this will also give you a list of organizations as well as guides and resources to, give you like sort of primers and information on more about what mutual aid is, how to start, going about in your community and getting other people involved, how to organize, how to make a map, how to, start getting relief to the people in your community. Now, a lot of this you could see is focused on coronavirus, but I do think that a lot of these will still hold up to what people need. And frankly, what people need is to know that they're not alone, is to have a secure place to live, is to have food, is to have clothing, is to have community. And I truly think that mutual aid is a great starting point, right? Here's another organization that does a lot of good work. This is Food Not Bombs. Has anybody heard of it? Food Not Bombs? Throw this in chat as well. So what they do is they just feed people. That's the core of their message. They feed people. So as far as I know, it's an all-volunteer movement, and they share free vegan and vegetarian meals with people who are hungry. That's what they do. So again, we can go ahead and search for a group if we wanted to. Luckily, this map is a little more robust let me see if I can. Yeah, so their Food Not Bombs has chapters all over the world. And again, if I just take a look and zoom in, I'm just going to zoom into my own area here. So me being in Western New York, I've got a Food Not Bombs chapter right there. I can contact them. I can reach out if I want to volunteer. I know with this particular chapter, I can't speak for the other ones, but I know for the Buffalo chapter, they're always looking for people to help cook, and they're looking for people to help distribute the food. So like people, I think how it works is that people will get in line, and then you'll just help, dole the meals out and, do setup and cleanup and things like that. So even if something as simple as just making meals for people, if you're somebody who likes to cook, this is a great way to just hop into your community and provide meals for people. And Food Not Bombs will give, it works with local organizations and co-ops and grocery stores, etc., to get rid of, but rather to take food that is going to go to waste. America has a huge food waste problem. I think something like 30 to 40% of the food that we have is wasted. And there's no reason for that when millions of people across this country and even more around the world go hungry, So this is a great way just to start in your community. Start small, start local, and really make an impact. That's Food Not Bombs. So let's talk a little more. If I'm going too fast or whatever, please let me know. I want to talk a little more about, what we can do, right? And I'm going to go over some of this stuff here. Frankly, the first thing you need to do is some self-care. And I know that seems a little selfish after me talking to you about mutual aid and trying to help people in community, but there's that old saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to start by taking care of yourself. If that means disconnecting from streams and from social media and from doom scrolling and everything, you got to fucking do it. You have to mentally take care of yourself. You have to physically take care of yourself. I've had a couple of people reach out to me and tell me that they're unfortunately in the process of detransitioning, or at least hiding who they are in social media. And while just the media in general, and while it breaks my fucking heart that they're doing this, they're also doing this because they need to protect themselves. If something like that is going to protect you, then you need to do what you have to do. And for what it's worth, you've got my support. But you have to take care of yourself first. If you're a parent, obviously, take care of your kids. If you're a caretaker, take care of the people you need to take care of itself. But you have to take care of your immediate needs first. And that's including your mental health as well as your physical health. If you're a woman or if you're somebody with a uterus, now is the time to start looking at your reproductive rights. Perhaps consider, if permanent or, even semi-permanent sterilization is an option for you. Try to get us hold of as many things as you need, because we don't know what the availability of these things are going to be once Trump comes back into office. Luna says you need to put on your own mask before helping others, like when the mask drop. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want anybody to start doing mutual aid or start helping other people if you're not in a position to do so, right? It is a very noble and good thing to volunteer, to commit your time, to commit your money, to commit your energy to helping other people. But if you are not as secure as you can possibly be, you've got to get your own affairs in order first. It's not being selfish, it's taking care of yourself. So one of the things that I wanted to share is this resource from Finding Steady Ground. It's just, findingsteadyground.com. I'll go ahead and I'll throw this in chat too. So they say to be in shape for the long haul, we have to keep our minds and spirits ready and heart open. So they have these sort of 7 concepts to think about. 1, I will make a conscious decision about when and where I'll get news and what I'll do afterwards. 2, I will make human-to-human connection with another person and make sure we stay in motion. 3, I will pray, meditate, reflect, insert your own option here, on those who I know or who are being impacted by oppressive policies and extend that love to all who may be suffering. 4, I will read, listen to, or share a story about how others have resisted injustice. 5, I will be aware of myself as one who creates. 6, I will take a conscious break from social media.
What?
Yay, lying. Welcome. Hello, Raiders. You joined us at an interesting time because we are talking about what we can do after the American election. Thank you for that shout out, mods. Appreciate it. So do keep in mind that you are entering the politics zone. Lying, how was your stream? Thank you so much for the raid. Raiders, I hope you're doing well as you can, particularly if you're from the US. 7 is I will commit to sharing with others what's helping me. So these are really, really good ways to start practicing self-care, right? Darren says, I know at least I can do is help check in with fellow people, make sure they're doing it right, and let them know that someone does care about them. Exactly. And sometimes it's all you need. Sometimes it's all somebody needs is just somebody reaching out and going, hey, I'm here for you. Hey, you okay? Do you want to talk? And obviously don't be like, creep about it or like insist upon it, but just let them know that you're there. So this is a really, really excellent way just to like start with some self-care. And actually another really good thing too is, what else do we have here? I should have had this prepared already, but I don't. Okay. This isn't a little interactive guide that's been around forever online, but it's something that I use from time to time. It's called So You Feel Like Shit. It's an interactive self-care guide, and it takes a little bit of time to work through, but if you're really feeling overwhelmed, in the past, this has helped me sort of step back and sort of ground myself and go from there. So I'll just show you the first couple of options. So it walks you through a couple of questions. So the first thing it asks you is, have you eaten? We could say yes, go on to the next question. I could use a snack. No, I need a meal. So let's say, yeah, I'm a little peckish. I could use a snack. Pop some food in your mouth. It encourages you to eat something, to go get a meal, to go take care of yourself. You finish your snack. Do you need to take your meds? Yes, I'm caught up on my meds. No, I need to take my pill. So on and so forth. It'll go through things like, did you take your meds? Do you need to take a nap? Have you reached out to somebody lately? Are you drinking water? Like it seems simple on the surface, and a lot of it might be like, well, this is, kind of duh, right? Like this is sort of, something everybody should do. But when you're overwhelmed, when you are angry and sad and, in your fucking feelings, something like this could help you ground and center and take a step back, even if just for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and go, okay, what are my baseline needs that I need to take care of? Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Did I take my meds? Do I need to rest? Do I need social connection? Do I need to get the fuck off the internet? So on and so forth, right? So this is another thing that you can do to have some self-care. We did a little bit of this before, right? Where we grieved. You have to recognize what's going on and what's happening. So some of the options here that this writer discusses is, I know friends who signed up for DACA who are never going to trust the government. Trump's going to constantly attack immigrants. Trump's going to leave the Paris Climate Agreement. These are all things that are very probable. We have to acknowledge these things. We have to grieve them, but we also have to realize that we can't live in our grief. And again, I'm not trying to be all like Pollyanna, like everything's going to be okay, guys, because I can't promise you that. I can't. But if we can start to take care of ourselves, if we can start to realize that it starts with us and then slowly branches across. In the video we just watched, mutual aid is horizontal, right? It goes across. It's for everybody. Lying says this is assuming he actually gets through December. Yeah, I mean, there are some people who believe that he is not physically or mentally well enough to get through that, and it is possible. I do want to talk about this part of the article that talks about how do they describe it? It's pathways of reacting to what's going on. So really quickly, there's stuff like protecting people, doing harm reduction, targeting people, either, mostly physically, right? Like, standing up for people and going, hey, no, we're not going to do it. Disrupting and disobeying, which is strategizing acts to support disobedience and protest policies. Defending civic institutions such as the EPA, the Department of Education, elections, and building alternatives. So it's all of these are great, but me personally, we also have to focus on building alternatives, which means that we can't just focus on stopping the bad things. We need to start coming up with alternatives that work for ourselves, for our communities, and for the good of as many people as possible, right? And that's where, again, mutual aid comes into play. Like, getting food co-ops, building small libraries, doing things like tool shares and resource shares, right? This is all stuff that is going to benefit us in the long run. Lying says there's enough irregularities and enough cause for skepticism that I'm not presently accepting the results as they're understood. If it gets to January, I'm getting mad. I mean, I do think that there is some measure of recounting going on. I'm not holding my breath, quite frankly. Which is kind of why I'm talking about all this stuff to begin with, right? Like, it's, if we must go through the worst case scenario, then God damn it, we're going to get through it together somehow. And if I, in my small, tiny Z-list streamer way, can help in some small part to get people through this or to provide resources, and so you can, go do your own thing, then that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm going to get a little personal for a second here, chat. Just a little personal. My grandfather fought in World War II. And I can't pretend that I know his politics. I can't pretend that I know whether or not he'd vote for Trump or whatever, right? But I like to think that he would be pissed to see America turning the way it is after all of the shit that he has been through. And, one of the things that you hear sort of popped around the internet and social media a lot is, if you were, if fascism comes to America like it did, for Germany and for the people in Europe, do you know how you'd react? And the honest answer is no, I don't know until it happens. Well, it's getting kind of dire. So if the least I can do is provide education and resources and offer something that's not crying, which is what I did before, then God damn it, like I said, that's what I'm gonna do. It's fucking rough. I do have some more things to share with you real quick. Let me see here. So again, these are different pathways. Did I put this in the okay, yeah. So more information about these pathways in that link that I sent. One thing that I do want to bring up is the concept of do not obey in advance and do not self-center. Timothy Snyder wrote a book called On Tyranny, and I think there's a video series about it too as well. So let me throw this in chat. Now this is like 20 videos. Each one are anywhere from like 5 to 12, 15 minutes long. So, but if you find yourself with some time, I highly recommend watching them. One of the things that he says, amongst the rest of the things in the book, but it's so powerful, and he talks about the concept of ceding power. And he says, most of the power of authoritarianism is freely given. In times like these, individuals think ahead about what a more repressive government will want and then offer themselves without being asked. A citizen who adopts in this way is teaching power what it can do. Don't give your power away. We're going to survive by fighting. And I know it's fucking tiring. It's tiring. It's frustrating. It's depressing. Years. And I'm saying this as like I said before, somebody who's white, right? Like, I have the privilege of being white. There are a lot of things that I miss getting hurt on because of the fact that I have white skin. So keep that in mind too. Like, if you're somebody in a place of relative privilege, think about that and think about ways you can go, okay, you know, like, how could I use this to maybe benefit other people instead of letting it benefit me? And again, we're also slipping into the concept of intersectionality, which I touched on before, right? So even though I'm white, I am also disabled, I'm chronically ill, I'm queer, I'm a religious minority. A lot of things that are going to affect me that aren't going to affect a lot of other people because of who I am inherently. But I still have that white privilege. If we need to, Squid and I can pass as a cishet couple, even though Squid is non-binary and we're both bisexual. But we can if we have to. Is that selfish? I don't know. Lying says, being conceivably perceivable as a white dude is certainly my privilege. Right. And it's important to recognize that. Now, and I'm not saying like revel in it. I'm not saying like, you know, like if you got a little throw up in your mouth, that's perfectly normal. It's just being aware of the privileges that you might have, the intersectionality that you also might have, and how you can best do things as much as you can for good. And I'll say this before earlier in the stream, and I'll say it again. If you are not in a position to give your time, your money, your energy to doing mutual aid, to doing things like this, do not beat yourself up over it. Do not despair. Do not feel as if you're letting anybody down, because you're not. The fact that you're here or elsewhere on the internet, frankly, like I said, who the hell am I? I'm just some quasi-educated schmuck. The fact that you're willing to at least try to learn more, to try to figure out what you can do aside from just being in the fields is, I think, a great step. And you can give that information out to other people, and maybe it'll help them. I think every little bit's going to help. And again, none of this is going to be easy. None of this is going to be a walk through the park. It's going to be fucking hard. There's going to be years and years of just getting through the day. At the end of the day, I don't want you to leave this stream thinking that there is no hope. I can't promise things are going to be easy. I can't promise things are going to get fixed. I can't promise you anything. But I hope I can leave you with some sense of either a little bit of relief or solidarity, education, something. Because in 4 years' time, whether it's here, whether it's on somebody else's stream, whether it's in Discord or it's in some other community, I don't care. I want to see you here. That's just what it boils down to. I want you to still be here. And I want to see you fucking thrive. And I'm sorry I'm using, the parasociality here. I'm well aware of that. But we have to get through this. If we can. We have to recognize, if we're going to be 100% honest, America is a country that is built on white supremacy and patriarchy. There's no need to mince words. There's no need to bullshit ourselves. This is our history. We weren't even considered truly to be a representational democracy until Black people had the right to vote in the 60s. We need to do better. We need to do better for women. We need to do better for BIPOC. We need to do better for the queer community. We need to do better for immigrants. We need to do better. We need to do better. We need to do better. It's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot of action. It's going to take a lot of pain. It's going to take a lot of frustration. But it's going to take a lot of willpower and a lot of hope. And I think we're all fucking capable of it. I truly do. I think each of us is capable in some way of, however small you feel that your effort might be, you're still making a change. You're making a difference to somebody. That effort that you put in could be the thing that somebody else needed just to get through the day. They're weak. Stop them from doing something that would hurt them. You don't know the effects of your actions. but it's my hope that you choose to do as much good as you can. No pressure. No pressure at all.